Hello again, Mario Draghi and Mervyn King have held their monthly meetings, and it's time to discuss the fundamental issues around those central banks with Ishaq Siddiqi from ETX Capital. Bank of England, pretty much all the action has been away from the central bank. The incoming Governor Mark Carney given lots of interviews, speaking to members of Parliament, and there seems to be a consensus he's maybe leaning towards loosening monetary policy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's generally been the way that people have seen it. Today he was at the Treasury Select Committee offering some of his views in terms of what he's going to do as the new Governor of the Bank of England. Now, interestingly, I think for Carney, he's going to have a very difficult job to keep monetary policy loose, but at the same time spur economic growth in the UK, which is very damp at the moment, as we know. So going into 2013, when he takes the helm in summer for the rest of the year, if the UK economy can show some growth in the next 6 months, then Carney's going to be inheriting a much better UK economy than it is right now. So we have to hope that we're going to see some improvement in the UK economy in the next 6 months. But I think that for Carney and his job at the moment right now is not to be too different from the current BoE leadership, because that drastic change will undermine a lot of confidence that the general public and the government have in the BoE. But also at the same time retain a policy which is accommodative and easing towards not only the UK but for its international partners, so trade and export continue. And the UK is overall a competitive country and continues that stance.
Yeah, I'm wondering what looser monetary policy means for the UK with interest rates so low, and also there's already a huge bond buying programme in place.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So at this point right now, the non-standard measures, like you said, it would be the asset purchase programme, the QE programme, and it seems at this point right now that's the only thing that they can do. They can pump more QE into the economy. Today they sat on their hands, held on rates and QE. Perhaps something that the markets weren't really too comfortable with, the idea given the fact that the UK economy has slipped and there is a chance that we will enter a triple dip recession if the first quarter is damp, just like the fourth quarter. That would mean that we would need QE much quicker than expected, and it seems like if Governor King holds the boat and doesn't pump any additional measures until Carney's in place, I'm pretty sure that that's the first thing he's going to do, start pumping more QE into the UK economy.
So let's move to the ECB. It's been an interesting week for the Eurozone. Francois Hollande has been implying that the euro is too strong. Does Mario Draghi show any signs that he wants to maybe limit the strength of the euro?
Yeah, absolutely. I think today's ECB presser suggested that there is a concern, although he did lace it with a more of a positive twist, saying that the strength of the euro is a sign of investor confidence returning into the market. To a certain degree, I think many people can agree with that, but there's going to have to be a point where there is a limit to how far the euro can appreciate. At current levels, it's around about 135. He's done a good job to talk down the euro at this press conference, but if we do start seeing the euro tick higher against the dollar and its other rivals, we're going to see exports become much more expensive, and that's what the French president has been hinting on. He might be a bit too premature by saying that the euro is gaining a lot more strength. It's still going to be a very muddy 6 months for the eurozone. I think the euro itself as a currency is going to be very volatile. It's very vulnerable to the shocks in the overall eurozone periphery. Again, this week what we've noticed is that there's political instability in Spain and in Italy, and the euro is going to suffer on the back of that. So it seems like at this point right now, Draghi isn't too concerned with the move in the euro and the strength in the euro that we've seen. However, if it does become a sustained issue for the European Central Bank, and if we continue seeing euro strength next month or the month after, we are most likely going to get a rate cut from the ECB.
Well, as always, we like to look at the currency situation when we go to ETX Capital. So here comes Lucas. So we've seen the euro weakening significantly in the last day or so, and after the ECB meeting, have we seen the top for euro dollar?
No, so probably what's going to happen is euro is going to keep decreasing for probably the next few days. That's our view, at least. So we're more bearish on this one, simply because there's 2 points of view in Europe. You have the German point of view and the French point of view, if we can say. German is we should focus on competitiveness, and French was saying we agree to go on competitiveness, but this euro going up is definitely having a negative impact on our exportations. And we actually saw one of the directors at Louis Vuitton actually saying we are warning you that if it has to stay that low, that high, we would have negative numbers in exportation. So they're trying to push it down. However, the Draghi comments doesn't actually say we want it really low. He says there's no other politic to actually impact on that currency so far. But basically they postpone the rates to next meeting in March. So far, euro keeps decreasing, and we have a few levels to give you.
Yeah, so what about the levels? It's about 133 at the moment.
Yeah, so 133.80 at the moment, really. We had a key Fibonacci support at 34.40, 133.80. That was a key Fibonacci support. We just breached that one. We think if we were to finish the day below 33.80, it opens up further down, maybe 32, maybe 31.70. That's going to be really. Next few days will be interesting to see, but we're on the downside, definitely.
Let's move on to a different currency that's been interesting nonetheless, a different currency pair, dollar-yen.
Yeah.
It seems to be struggling to hit that 95 level.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. So, well, we have first 94 seems to be the resistance. It keeps touching, coming back, keeps touching. 94.07 has been the high. That's exactly what it is. It keeps getting there, but doesn't breach it. Reason being, we await for the new appointment of the new governor next week in Japan. So we know the Japanese, they definitely want a weak currency. First time we talked about it, it was about 88, maybe 85. We are now 94. So basically we expect further upside. We need to see who is going to be, simply because usually they try to balance the powers between the government and the Bank of Japan. In this case, it seems the Prime Minister is really keen to get someone on the same line as him. If it was to happen, then all right, we get 95. If 95 is breached, this is January 2010 high, so it never been there before for 2 years. Then we can go as high as 97. I mean, Japanese themselves said we're happy for the dollar-yen to go 100.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering if the risk sentiment in the market turns very bearish and there's risk off. What happens to a pair like the dollar-yen?
Well, it seems the risk appetite came back a little bit. Dollar seems still to be a safe haven. That's why euro-dollar we need to be careful. But on the dollar-yen side, we think if we keep having just kind of news from US, then dollar is going to push slightly, but yen will definitely decrease and decrease. So the risk is back. Dollar yen, most people are really long on this one, and they took a lot of profit over the last 2 months, so it seems to be a really interesting currency. Now, the new governor will have definitely an impact of where to stand. If it's someone not on the same line but kind of agreeing but more moderate, then we can stay around the 94 level, maybe 92, 95. If it was to be someone in line, then we're more 95 to 100, and we'll see what happens in this case.
Well, always great to hear from Ishaq and Lucas at ETX Capital. Stay tuned to Dukascopy TV for more interviews, but for now, goodbye.